Taisa says that the image wasn't really an image of a Yitzhara, it was just an image of a king, and they were only machma and things like that. But probably other Rishonim learned from Parshas in the Gemara. So I'm just making the point. Where's the Gemara? All right. I don't know where it is. Yeah.
No, I just want to mention, like, you don't have to go really far. You know, we have a precedent where if the tzaddik, can't control himself and goes ahead and does it, that he's still a tzaddik. Yudan Tamar.
Yeah, he mentions that, of course.
So it's like,
but the question is how you learn pshat in these things. No, the question is, does it mean that he still has a modicum of free will and he chooses not to exercise it to restrain himself because the taiva is strong enough for him to conclude that it represents the divine will? Or does it mean that when there comes a point where he just can't control himself, then at that point, we could consider that as some divine mystery in it, but not as long as he has a modicum of free will. Perhaps he's required to exercise in order to restrain himself. Yes.
Yeah, the gentleman before made a point that it's not that it's implicit that it can't be done. You know, like a ball coming down from heaven. That's a real lightness. But this person couldn't withstand it. And you said before that Pinchos comes from Yosef. And I said that Yosef was able to withstand, most people would not have been able to go to it. And because he reached that high level, he's called, and the only one is called Yosef Etzai.
That's a very good point. I think that he's relating to your point with what he says at the end of Pinchas being Mizar Shel Yosef. I think what he's saying is very good. That he's relating to that point that you could say, yeah, it's stupid. He says he can't control himself. He says he could control himself. So, what is this mind reading and things like that? But I understand what you're saying. But I think he's making a very good point. I think he's relating to that since Pinchas was Mizar Shel Yosef and they're very oiskarbet in that Indian, the whole thing of Yosef. So their idea of what you can control might be extreme. In Zara Shel Yosef, the idea of what kind of strength of taiva it's still possible to fight against might be extreme. But I accept your point that it's difficult to understand what the dispute is about, and I want to discuss that further. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I just want to point out also, if it's just a matter of holding himself back from this action as much as humanly possible,
yes.
It's a question of holding yourself back, then why does he have to go into this whole thing that Zimri was removed from Chet and these type of things so much? Because
this is the way I'm understanding it. It's partially that the whole shmooze that when you look at people who do these things that are various, that are not understandable from a simple external perspective and just seem to be an outright violation of Torah, it's partially that the only time the shmooze starts that you can look at the whole thing as something holy is only in a case when you're talking about a tzaddik who's tremendously oisgarbet and he really in general does not have his own desires, selfish desires. All his desires are for God, and all of a sudden he gets stricken with this desire that seems selfish and lustful, so he's entitled to think like this. So the whole shmooze doesn't start if he's not a tzaddik and if he's not completely oisgar. Now I understand, it comes out that the way I'm saying it comes out that there's really nothing for him to decide. The way I'm saying it comes out there's really nothing for him to decide. It's just whether we're entitled to regard what happened as containing some divine mystery, or it's just some kind of a sin, or just something that came from heaven. I understand that that's a difficulty.
Like, it might depend kind of on whether, okay, he's hit with this desire now. Until now in his life, he's trained himself, he's lived that he didn't have his own desire.
Yes, that's correct.
Any desire that
he's tremendously worked out spiritually.
Anything that he was moved to act, he was moved to act in the name of God.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, this strange desire comes into him.
And he fought it to the maximum of his ability. Those are the
questions. Did he have to fight it? Did he fight it? In which case it would be, no, this is definitely my taiva. I know this is my taiva, and I'm going to push it away. And then he decides, oh, since I can't push it away, it must be God's will.
No, that's the way he says it. No. It doesn't say it like that. It doesn't say it like that. That it's much between.
Is that before this taiva hits or after?
Right, but then he decided that
you might need to work the language. You might need to.
But then he decided that it was God's will, according to.
Yeah, no. The thing. Look, until now, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And the way it's usually said, the way I've usually heard it said, is that it's about when this taiva comes to him, it's not enough that he's very worked out and in general doesn't have taivas to do things against the divine will. But when this taiva comes to him, also he fights this taiva to the maximum extent of his ability. And after fighting, it's very hard. He sees that he just can't fight anymore. He just runs out of fight. He just runs out of fight. Now that's the way it's usually said over. And that's the way it's usually said over.
It was God's will to begin with.
But you only find out that it's God's will to begin with because you fight it to the maximum extent and you can't overcome. It seems that there are two conditions. It's not as if he doesn't seem to be saying that once you're a tzaddik and you know that your desires are all worked out in general, then when you as soon as you get a Yetzer Hara, you know that everything that comes into you is from God. As soon as you get a Yetzer Hara, you can just go and jump. It doesn't seem to be that easy. Doesn't seem to be that easy, even if you're all tremendously worked out. It seems that even if you're tremendously worked out, you still need to fight the Yetzer Hara to your maximum ability. That's what it seems like.
If you define it as the Yetzer Hara, the will of God
Wait a second.
to begin with, then
No, but you only
it presents itself.
forget the word Yetzer Hara. The point is, I mean the desire. Since the desire is on the face of it a desire for something illicit, it's a desire for something illicit. It's required that the individual holy man in question wage war against it to the best of his ability. And only once he does that and fails to overcome it, only then can he say. That's the way I would understand it. Simply. Yes.
I mean, the whole call God Mechaveri Yitzhak God Mimenu, that God is greater, his inclination, his forward,
Yes.
implies that we expect him
to desire illicit things.
To illicit, and even more than others.
You might say that.
Meaning that
yes, you might say that.
Stronger.
I understand what you're saying. I never saw anyone say that it means that as soon as it hits him, he could just say. The conditions are very strenuous. I mean, don't try it at home. The conditions are very strenuous.
Maybe it's possible. That what he means when he says the machlokes between Pinchos and Zimri is, if he had worked himself out to that point, is that had he not worked himself up to that point, it would have, even had it been an onus in, as far as Pinchos was concerned, as far as Zimri was concerned, Pinchos would still have the mitzvah of killing him out to Harg Val Yaver. Only since he worked himself out to that extent, that the desire must have been a justified one. Does it make does it make Pinchos wrong?
That's pretty good. That's possible. That's possible because he's pushing it all the way. He really wants Pinchas to be wrong. I understand what you're saying. That's possible.
When the Meir Shaloya
That kind of resolves all things.
Sorry. Yes.
The Meir Shaloya says Yesh B'Koichai, and therefore
that's what Pinchas held. The Yesh B'Koichai.
When there's a very long distance from Yesh B'Koichai to Mumel HaHachas. So according to that, how does the Meir Shalev say he permits himself to kill him? If he says Yesh B'Koichai...
1 minute. It's, the din of Kanoim Poigba is not Tali Mumul HaHachas. Not Tali Mumul HaHachas. Boil Aramis is Kanoim Poigba. It's that act. It could be L'Tayov. It's not Tali Mumul HaHachas. The whole question would be that... in other words, assuming that Pinchas was an Ishbitzer, which he's basically assuming, so, if he really knew that Zimri Mamish couldn't control himself, then he would know that it's really the Ratzon Hashem, and it wouldn't go into the category of Kanoim Poigabay. Pinchas only thought that it went into the category of Kanoim Poigabay because he didn't really know what was going on, and he didn't understand that Zimri really couldn't control himself. Yes, I'm sorry.
The other point is that this act took place in public. And that in itself may be why we can understand it, because a person wouldn't plan to do something like that. Illicit relationships are held in private places. And once you have somebody, the fact that somebody could do that is in itself proof that it was so unbelievably different from any other illicit act.
Which shows what?
Which shows that he really, that there was such a degree of pressure on him that he really, because usually when he came
we're talking the year 2000 BC.
The fact that it was public, and that's why, but can you kill somebody in private?
Cults are very different from those times.
What? I can't hear you. Speak a little louder.
Okay,
they didn't used to do such things in public.
There was the fertility rites. There were, and that's a very big part of what's happening here. She was trying to. It was part of the rituals.
Yes, but it was not done. Moshe was standing there.
They had outdoor temples, and this is what it was part of the worship.
Yes,
in
but
a lot of, I don't know if in my.
Okay, now...
not for the Eden, no, but that was what she was trying to do.
Yes, of course. That's why it was more important to take...
It wasn't that erratic.
What?